This guy uses AI, and no, I'm not joking. Here's evidence. He's trying to claim basically music terms as more broad to really describe his music, but here's some things that I can point out. Being a musician for 6+ years, and the fact that I run my own guitar band. This guy has about 6 months experience, give or take, and is layering AI with other actual real instruments. This guy's first accusation is him showcasing the FLP to let you know that he doesn't use AI. And while this is true, we can take a look at the instruments on the channel rack over here. So what he has is he has the forward march acoustic piano and another forward march, a 3S oscillator, which is typically like Serum, right? This is used to essentially engineer sounds. He's got boo bass and then a drum analog kit. So this all looks good in theory, but the acoustic piano is not really acoustic. This feels like Nexus in itself, which, yes, it is an acoustic piano, but this guy is definitely using a plugin like FL Keys or something, or some sort of sound goodizer to really try and amplify the volume here, which we can clearly see. You're listening to this song and probably wondering why this shit sounds so fucking muddy. And I will tell you why it sounds so fucking muddy. He is essentially trying to drown out the sound of a mono guitar using this shitty mixer and using these shitty instruments and his AI separated bass to try and say, "Oh, I don't use AI." Well, the instruments are right. I will tell you that right now. The VSTs are clearly right. This guy clearly has some musical knowledge, but this isn't the full picture. Every note clearly lands the exact same. This is my number one concern, okay? When you're playing guitar, you will get things through your amp or direct to amp setup, which he is implying here by both of these videos that he's doing a direct to amp setup. Typically, you use a machine like a Scarlett or something like that to typically record sounds like that. And at least at St. Elmo's Emo Fire, that's what we do, right? We have a rig, we plug it into Guitar Rig 6, and then that's what produces our sound. Here's our latest Crossroads, and this is the project file in Studio One. As you can see, there are numerous guitars, and those guitars kind of have a sort of wave to it that isn't in the original, as you can see by this screenshot. So, yeah, no, the sine wave doesn't look right for an overdrive guitar at all. The fact that it's one file and it just keeps going rather than, like, numerous stems, and it's the exact same, is a very, very big problem. Okay, my second and probably biggest gripe with this song is why the fuck is he recording this on one stem? When you record guitars, typically you record a rhythm guitar and a left or right. That's bare minimum, okay? Most tracks that you see with a guitar have about three, okay? At St. Elmo's Emo Fire, we have about seven. So that's about seven guitars per song. Seven. And some of our even heavier songs with overdrive, like this song is kind of implying, take about 15 to and even more. We record quite a bit of guitar. In fact, our entire thing is guitar. So the fact that this guy is doing an overdrive effect on one thing, let alone the pedal, and his amp setup is not right at all. You don't record from the pedal just direct. Like, that's nobody operates like that. And the pedal that he's using isn't right at all. So the pedal this guy is using is called the GE100. It's more so on the lower side on Reverb and music resale sites like that. But what the fuck? What does he mean noise gate? Nobody operates an overdrive pedal with noise gate. No, actually, this effects chain is completely wrong. Typically when you put overdrive on a pedal, that's not how you do it. Sorry. There's actually a very specific way to put overdrive in a pedal, and I'll explain that to you now. Seen a kid literally implicate himself in this screenshot. So let's break down why this screenshot is completely wrong based off the GE100's layout and why it's visible in the screenshot. First off, they're the noise gate block and not the drive block. And if you know, this pedal has 100 plus effects. It's very versatile. Okay, the display clearly says noise gate on with the threshold control. Noise gate just means someone cuts signal when it's quiet. It actually has nothing to do with distortion or overdrive. If someone claims they're creating overdrive from this screen, they're lying or don't understand how the G100 works. The FX chain indicator actually shows the wrong fucking order. Across the top, you can see FX, DS, NS, and modulation. So right now, the active selection is noise suppressor, not distortion or overdrive, which is a completely separate effect. For a real overdrive, they should be editing the DS block. So that's where you select overdrive, distortion, all that, delay, all that cool stuff. Here's why it's impossible to really make overdrive here. See, a noise gate only reduces unwanted noise. It cannot add harmonic distortion or clip the signal. So that sound, you won't hear that shit. Overdrive comes from clipping the waveform, which only happens in that specific section. So this person is deliberately misrepresenting their FX chain. I don't know who taught this guy, but this is giving 6 months experience. This is the kind of shit I would make kind of 6 months in. Not gonna lie. No fucking concept of mixing. Mixing here is used as more of an artistic form, if anything, rather than actually understanding how mixing works and how to really create a clear balance. So you can really hear that the shit in this video is really muddy and poor. And to be honest, I feel like someone who kind of knows Overdrive wouldn't really know this. The bass is way too fucking thick. This shit doesn't operate this way either. Again, it looks like the guitar. It's not a consistent one big ass wave. Secondly, when you record drums, you actually should be recording the snare and all that on different tracks and typically grouping them together on like a track list or something. Um, why is it not labeled? Why is nothing like, organized? This looks like shit. This looks like a beginner. If this guy knows so much about music, why the fuck is he putting all the drums on one track? Especially the kick and all that on one track? Bro, nah, those are different frequencies. And especially if he wants to like sidechain it or something here, this ain't working. This looks like bad. So here's the video that he provided saying, here's me playing guitar on the rig and recording it. First off, why are you recording out loud, bruh? Nobody does that, especially in the house that fucking loud. No. Secondly, you can see what he's trying to do is essentially try and play it off like he's playing power chords, but the strumming rhythm isn't right here. It's not. The fact that it changes like modulation numerous times in the song and essentially doesn't have a cadence ending. So essentially what cadence is, it's the end of a song, right? It's meant to be like a sentence. And this kid just keeps going up and down, like sliding up and down. The transitions are fucking ass. They don't actually match the fretboard. And do you notice how the song kind of sounds like it's just never ending? Because that's how AI plays out most of its songs, right? It's not meant to end. It's meant to go on and on and on. And this kid is not playing it right. 7 minutes, fellas. Here we go. You can pause this to read the other comments I had on the first video. But yeah, this kid is clearly using some sort of AI separator. Clearly has some sort of musical knowledge, but not much. I think he's kind of just lying it off. And please don't support art like this. Support actual real artists. Thank you for listening. I appreciate these comprehensive breakdown. And I'll see you next time.